everyone, welcome to Achievement Through Attitude TV. I'm your host and attitude coach and hopefully attitude adjuster, Phil Stringer. As everyone knows, this show is about getting your attitude adjusted. It's about getting your attitude right. It's about finding an attitude that gets your motor running and keeps your heart pumping. It's about the power of attitude and how that incredible power of attitude will allow you to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve in life. And finally, what I hope this show does is that it inspires and motivates your attitudes to be amazing. Because the individuals that we bring on this show, they all have amazing stories, but they have amazing stories simply because they choose to have an amazing attitude, because your attitude is a choice, and it's a choice that you alone make, so you need to own it. Guys, today I have a unique and remarkable woman on the show that believes in the power of attitude in people. But what she also believes in is the power of attitude in animals, particularly horses, and how those two can work together. She believes in saying what you mean, meaning what you say. She also believes that if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you are right. So everyone, please sit back and get ready to get your attitude adjusted with Cathy Stangroom next on Achievement Through Attitude TV. Hey everyone, welcome back to Achievement Through Attitude TV. I'm your host, Phil Stringer, and today I am delighted to have the head of the Moss Creek Equestrian Center here with me to talk about attitude. And Cathy, thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Gosh, I greatly appreciate it. I stopped out yesterday at the center, and we were talking about horses. And you know, I grew up on a farm, and I didn't realize after I got done talking to you how much I didn't know about horses. That's probably why I couldn't really stay on them. But, you know, let's talk a little bit about what horses can provide for people. You talk about a life lesson that horses can help teach kids and adults.
Right. Well, that's kind of how my approach to teaching. You can teach the fundamentals of, you know, riding and all that, but to me, you have to go out and ride a horse, and you have to have an attitude to make it happen. Because a horse is looking for a leader. And so if you are just thinking you're going to sit there and be a passenger, that's fine and well, but I don't teach that way because the horse wants somebody to tell them what to do.
Well, the horse has attitude too, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And so that's where sometimes some people don't match with their horse. And again, like I tell the kids mostly, that you're going to have a boss someday in life that you don't get along with.
Right.
And you have to figure out a way to make that animal work for you and with you, and it comes from your attitude. You can give up, but then the horse wins. Right. So that's kind of where I come from in teaching.
Now, I walked around the stables. I mean, if you get an opportunity to go out there and check it out, dude, it's absolutely beautiful. And the horses they're breathtaking. They're such an amazing animal.
Yeah.
And the one thing I found interesting that you said that the horse has a brain. And you have a brain, and you have to take those two brains and put them together to get the results that you want.
Exactly.
Whether you are a leisurely rider or a competitive rider, which you also have out there.
Exactly. And again, it's we're supposed to be the leader. So when you're learning, you have to figure out by reading the horse, by what I tell you, this is what the horse is thinking. Now you have to come in and figure out how to change that, and I give you those aids also. But again, you've got to want it and think positively, because I think a horse responds more to positive energy than to negative energy.
Well, you know, that's true. I grew up on a farm, and we had horses. And there was one horse in particular that the only person that could ride that horse was my dad. My dad kind of adopted this horse. He was mistreated.
Yeah.
And I know that you have some of the same type of horses out there, a couple that you kind of take in.
Yeah.
But this horse, the only person that could ride him was my father, because my dad treated him right and respected him.
Exactly.
And
in turn, that horse respected your dad. And so a lot of people think that they just give a treat, a horse will like them. They're a prey animal and we're predators, so we come from different spectrums. And so like, you know, a dog, man's best friend.
Right.
But a horse can be, but you have to meet them where they're at and respect how they are coming into life and how they approach life. So again, the attitude of meeting them where they're at and then being their leader and having the confidence is what's going to make that relationship work.
Well, and that's what we talked about, how it's such a great tool for kids. Because if you may be a little insecure or a little not too sure of yourself, and you walk out there,
that horse knows it.
That horse knows it.
Exactly, and will take advantage. So you reprogram that brain so that it can be a positive experience. And it's amazing to see children change. And even adults. A lot of adults come out to ride, and they always wanted to do it in the past, but they never have. And we as adults have that fear built into us of not falling off. We can't afford to be broke anymore. So that affects how you ride, too. And you have to let that go. And not that kids aren't fearful too, but you work through all that. And it's amazing to see people change and see, even in one lesson, you know, how they change during that lesson and come out with more confidence. And that horse helps you do that. That's what's so phenomenal about it.
It just blows my mind that the horses can do that. I mean, I know they use the horses for a lot of different...
Yeah, equine therapy and all that too, exactly. And then you have horses, and as you get your confidence, you can help a horse. Because, you know, a young horse to me is like a young child. You have to basically give up some of your confidence for that horse to gain confidence. And so it can work back and forth.
So the life lessons, I mean, that's you hit it right.
Exactly.
Nail on the head with that one.
Yeah.
That these kids can go out there and they can learn confidence, they can learn
responsibility, teamwork, absolutely,
leadership. I mean, think about the words, you know. And I came from an athletic background, and I was telling you yesterday that, you know, there's more out there than football, baseball, lacrosse, your basic things that can help you in life down the road, and being able to ride these horses and have access to these horses will provide that.
Yeah, they're wonderful tools of learning life lessons, and sometimes you fall off. Well, you got to get back on.
And they'll be a friend for life, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
And we talked about these life lessons, if you treat that horse the way that you expect to be treated.
You get what they don't necessarily like you, but they'll respect you, and in their world, that's like. So and they'll follow you around. It
was amazing when we were out there and we walked up to the gate and they heard your voice. It was Jack. I think Jack came up to the little white horse.
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie, that's right. Charlie came up. You know, it was amazing. And then we walked down, and one of the newer horses I think you have, the one that you said that was in
Tori,
they heard her voice and literally walked right over to the fence. So it was very cool.
Yeah, they're very responsive, very sensitive, and so you get instant feedback.
You know, you mentioned it earlier about how the horses prey and we are predator. What that means and how you explain it to me, the first instinct for that horse is to want to run. If it's
flight animal, correct. And so they run. So you have to either let them and relax to it, or say no, there's nothing to fear. And so then, if you have that relationship, they don't do it.
You know, leadership can be a lot of different things, and you said that the horse likes to be led.
Well, it's in nature,
Yeah, a lot of that would be I guess verbal, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, because they don't understand our words. So they're, like I said, very sensitive, can feel a fly. So it's how you react, your body weight, pressure, things like that. I always say horses move away from pressure and they step under your weight. So while you're on top of them, that's what it takes. And again, it's authority on the ground. We had a gentleman that came and taught at the barn. He was from Ireland. And he would always say, you have to ride with authority, which is not, it can be a negative authority, but I always feel it should be a positive because, again, like horses respond to positiveness, in my opinion. Now, some have been taught negatively. So they have to, in my opinion, be reprogrammed a little bit to respond to the positive.
The horse.
Exactly. And that's where, as you get to be, learn more about them, get more accomplished at it, you can then turn around and affect another horse's
It's just absolutely remarkable. So. I mean, I was blown away, but most of the things that I get to see with the amazing people I get on this show blow me away anyway. So guys, please stay tuned to get blown away with some attitude next on Achievement Through Attitude TV. Hey guys, welcome back to Achievement Through Attitude TV. I'm here with Cathy Stangroom from the Moss Creek Equestrian Center, and we are talking about attitude, horses' attitudes, and how they affect people's attitudes, and how people's attitudes can affect these horses, and how it works together and creates a team and teaches life lessons. Let's talk a little bit about we talked about the negative attitude and the positive attitude that both the horse can bring and an individual can bring. And how do you, I guess, circumvent that to get a positive outcome for both the horse and the rider?
Well, again, I feel like, a horse usually responds better to positive attitude. So, for instance, if somebody is trying to get a horse to go to a certain place and it's not happening because the horse has attitude, no, I don't want to do it. You can use a spur, you can use a crop, and sometimes you need to. But overall, you've got to think positively that it can happen, that it will happen, and not sit there and go, oh, darn it, it didn't work. And so you have to change your thinking in your head, which will then transfer down into the horse, in my opinion. Now, there are times where a horse will have attitude, and so you have to straighten their attitude out. So it works both ways.
So I guess it's one of those things, if you know how to adjust an attitude, I guess that you can adjust your own attitude in the process.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
To get what to get the outcome that you want. Because I don't, every time I see a horse, it's amazing how big of an animal that it is. But even though you have the smaller horses there for everybody. But I mean, if that thing doesn't want to go,
well, you're sitting on their back. You get a little taller. It looks far down, but overall, they're
I know
willing participants.
Yeah. How do you get around like the spur or the
by just having again, I hate the attitude. I mean, that it can happen, that it will happen. Now, again, you've got a different brain that you're working with, so sometimes, like I said, you have to adjust it. And usually once you use it, they respect you for it because you're saying what you mean and meaning what you say.
There you go.
And so if you're doubting yourself, they're going to doubt you.
So again, and another attitude that it teaches is that confidence.
Absolutely.
And about imposing your will, I guess, would be
in a positive way.
In a positive way, yes, not a negative way. And the horse immediately picks up on that.
And again, it's finesse. It's how quiet can you say it, but sometimes you have to yell. But then you say, thank you. Okay, let's keep going. And again, it's all a learning process. Just like life is a learning process, we're always learning. I learned so much from teaching because of that, because I watch the horse, I see what the rider's wanting to do. If it's not happening, we have to adjust something. But in the long run, the goal is to make that person on the horse's back positive about what they can accomplish. And if they can accomplish it, it usually happens. I won't guarantee it because, again, that horse might go, no, it's time to be done, and I want to go eat.
Well, now I know that you teach all ages out there to ride, right?
I've started, since 5 up to, I think I have somebody in their 70s.
Right. And now your daughter's is a nice example of positive, what happens. I guess you told me she was 9, and she saw the horse and was like, I want to ride horses. And tell me where that led her.
Well, she started at 9, like I said, and she had a great attitude. I mean, she's a confident person. And we started, her trainer was from France, so we started going over to France, and then when she was 13, she ended up living over there for 3 or 4 months and training under a gentleman that had ridden for the French equestrian team and all that. So she lived it, breathed it, was responsible for taking 6 horses to shows to get ready for him, and then eventually she showed also. And so she continued on, had her goal of the Olympics, but can't always achieve everything. But it's led her on a different path to another whole different adventure in her life.
She's excelling now. She's getting her master's. Is that right?
Exactly.
So I mean, that confidence that she had in herself and in the horse, the accountability, responsibility, all the words that we throw out there that I think sometimes people, accountability, responsibility. She lived it. I mean, she had no choice, and that's what happens. You got that horse, and that horse is counting on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's just a very, very unique relationship.
It is. It is. And it's something that I love and I learn every single day. from just being around them, by watching them, by teaching, by watching people ride. Because, I have another girl out there that works with this horse that we don't know its history, and very insecure horse. But she's a very confident rider. And so she is learning to bring him back to be more confident in himself. And it's not to say that just anybody can get on him.
Right.
But, he's thrown a few people, but you have to get back on and tell him, nope, I'm getting back on. We're going to work together. We're going to work through this and make him a confident horse, too.
It just blows me away.
So.
And one thing that I wanted to mention is that it doesn't make any difference if you are short, tall, man, woman.
Right.
If you think that you may have some type of disability that you can't do that, you can go to the Moss Creek Equestrian Center. They can put that all to rest and let you know that there's, again, nothing you can't
achieve.
do.
Exactly.
Right.
And I feel like I have wonderful lesson horses. I think they're priceless, and each horse has something to teach. So,
the life lessons. I mean, we keep coming back to that, but I'm a little overwhelmed with how amazing the experience that I had yesterday out there for about an hour walking around and talking to you and the horses and everything that it can and everything that it can give to somebody if they think that well, I'm not an athlete and I'm not this and I don't do music and I don't do that. I promise you, there's something out there for everyone. There really is, and this is just another avenue. And I hope that people, that view this, understand that that'd be kind of cool to go out there and check that out.
Thanks. Yes, I agree with you. I'm there 7 days a week, but loving it all the time.
Well, and what else I thought was unique is you bring out a dentist, chiropractor, acupuncture, and that's not for the people there. It's not a spa.
It's all for the horses.
It's for the horses
to help them feel better, and they respond so amazingly to it. So again, when I first started doing that, I had skepticism about it.
Right.
I was like, yeah, right. You can adjust it works because they are knowing you're there. Again, the people that work on those horses have a positive attitude already.
Well, you have to be to get
exactly, or they'll respond negatively to you and have a fear factor built in. But it's amazing to watch, and it helps them because they are athletes, especially the ones that really compete high end. You have to support them. So I do that. I do that with my school horses because I think they deserve it.
They deserve it, right. And what kind of horse would be a school horse that you particularly like to teach on?
They're usually older. They've been there, done it.
Right.
And
knowledge breeds wisdom, right?
Exactly. And usually they're geldings, not mares.
Right. Because she said the mares run the roost out there, guys.
Exactly. You have to be more marish to ride some mares.
Sorry, guys.
No, but sometimes, again, that relationship works. I have a wonderful 2 kids that lease a pony out there that a lot of people can't ride, yet this pony, she's a mare, loves them. And, takes them, does what they want, but will also teach them when something wasn't right. So
That's
it's
amazing. Well, Cathy, we're running short on time, and I wanted to thank you very much.
Well, we have
for
to get you
coming
on a
in.
horse.
Yeah. About that. The last experience I had on a horse, I think I was 12. The horse stopped, and I slid right off the head onto the ground. That was it for me. But thank you very much. And guys, if you get an opportunity to check it out at Moss Creek Equestrian Center, please do it. Ask for Cathy, and she'll get you all set up. Thank you, Cathy.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful holiday
Appreciate
season.
it. You
Thank
too.
you very much. Guys, remember, every morning when you wake up and your feet hit the floor, you have an opportunity to do something amazing, to be amazing. So don't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. Never hang your head. Never surrender. Have a wonderful and safe holiday, and we'll see you next time on Achievement Through Attitude TV.